We are currently at Lowe's. By we, I mean me, Chloe, and the boat. We are just shopping for a new stove. We have had the same stove, well, since we moved in. It was brand new. The owners had just bought it when we had purchased their house. So we didn't want to replace it right away just because it seemed like a waste. But since our kitchen reno, we figured might as well get a new one, and then it's a little bit more cohesive with all the other appliances we bought. This is Chloe's first time at a Lowe's. She is very intrigued by all of the appliances and all of the door handles that she can't pull on. And also, for some reason, really intrigued by the floor. What are you looking at? Ooh. Okay, we currently have an electric range, and we don't have a gas line, so that's out. So we're considering an induction range instead. So this is an option. It is Samsung. This one's Bosch. So this one is the Frigidaire, which is $17.95, and then LG, which is $24. Aesthetically, they look similar, but also different. So this has like more rounded edges, has knobs. This is all a digital display. You know, I'm not feeling like the handle down here, but it's not that big of a deal. What do you think, Chloe?
It's purple.
Nice. Ooh. Chloe is down for her nap. There should be a prize to someone who can count the number of times I say that throughout the vlogmas videos, because she sleeps a lot, okay? But I am heading to Henry's right now to pick up a new camera. You guys will have to wait and see to see which one I decide on. I did a poll actually yesterday on Instagram on whether I should repurchase the Sony camera or if I should switch back to the G7X. And it was actually a really tight race for a little bit, and I think switching back to Canon edged out a little bit the last time I checked. Anyway, I'm going to pick up a new camera right now, and I'm excited. On a side note, I did make an interesting discovery, and that is that if I take the case off of my phone, 12 Pro Max, the magnet on the back actually sticks very strongly to the existing mount that I have for my car right now. It's actually on so securely that I don't feel nervous at all that you're gonna fall off, especially considering I do not have a case to protect you guys if you do fall. So that's exciting. That is also why I am excited for the Apple silicone case, because obviously it has the MagSafe attached to it. Because if the magnet on the phone, despite its odd shape or placement, sticks well to the mount I currently have, then I'm sure the silicone case will also, which means I don't have to buy a new mount, which is exciting because I still haven't found one that works to my specification. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I was gonna pick up the silicone case from Jump Plus because for whatever reason that was the same price as it was from the Apple store, so they didn't add that like Apple tax to it. I don't know how they decide what they add that little surcharge to and what they don't, but the cases did not have, they retailed the same price at Jump Plus as they do at the Apple store. However, they didn't have the colorway I wanted, and I didn't want to settle for another one, so I'm just gonna order it online. Thanks. I'm home and I do not have the camera because I couldn't pay for it. So I went to Henry's, as you guys saw. I took a couple little clips while I was in the store, and I had my phone with me, which, because I usually 99.9% of the time I just use Apple Pay because it's really easy and convenient, and then I don't have to carry cards with me, although I do technically still carry a wallet because I put my IDs and stuff in there. Anyway, so I had a backup card with me, but the backup card I had was the Bose Visa, and of course for that amount you cannot do tap to pay. You actually have to insert your card and put your PIN in. So I was using the Bose Visa and I put the PIN in that he normally uses, and it said wrong PIN. So then I messaged the Bo and I asked him what his PIN was, and he actually couldn't remember. He was just giving me a whole bunch of random numbers because he he also didn't know, because with the TD Visa is the one he was using, I guess they generate a pin for you, and in order to change it you actually have to go into the branch, into the ATM, and change it that way. But he never got around to it, because I mean, how inconvenient is that to like have to go actually into a TD branch to change a simple thing like a pin on your card. Anyway, so he couldn't remember what his pin was, and he gave me 2 different pins that it could be, so that I plugged those 2 in, and then all of a sudden it locked the card out. So then I had to call him. He had to call TD, and it took way too long. It was hilarious because I told him I would just hang out at the Henry's shop, and it wasn't very busy actually, so I didn't feel bad loitering because there's only 10 people who could actually be in the store at once. If it was really busy, I probably would have just left, but I told the sales associate, I asked him if it was okay if I just waited for a little bit, because my husband was calling the credit card company to change the pin. Over 5 minutes went by, and the beau texted me back and said, you know what, it's probably better for you just to come home, because he's still on hold with TD, and that he would just come back later today to go pick up my camera. So yeah, I felt bad because yeah, the guy who's helping me was super helpful, and I reserved the camera online, but you cannot pay for it online. You have to pay for it in store, which is such a terrible system. I definitely prefer Best Buy system, where if you reserve something in store, you put all of your payment information in, and they only charge you once you actually pick up your item. But everything's in there, so you just like go, you do curbside pickup. Anyway, that's my story. That's why I have come home empty-handed without a camera, because I couldn't pay for it. Yeah, lesson learned, bring 2 extra cards with you, I guess. Or even easier lesson, remember the pin. Oh, also in addition to that, I got home and then the beau told me that there's no way to actually change the pin through the like their 1-800 number for TD. You actually have to go into the branch. So that's what he has to do now. And then he's gonna go pick up my camera, and then he's actually gonna go pay for our new stove, which I am excited about. Chloe and I are currently walking to my in-laws, because Chloe's gonna hang out with them, and my sister-in-law adopted a cat. It's huge. Well, you guys I think saw the cat in maybe a previous vlog, but it's huge. Its name is Nutmeg, and he's 25 pounds. Okay, after the drama with the whole credit card, the beau went to pick up the camera from Henry's, and then he drove to his parents' house where Chloe and I walked to. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys the camera that I have picked up. It is the black version of the Sony ZV-1. And I really hemmed and hawed about it. Even at Henry's, I was looking at the G7X Mark III, and I actually was testing it out in the store. And although I do still think it's a great camera, I did notice that there was just not quite as good with the autofocus as the Sony. The quality of the video is great. Audio was great also. Felt great in the hand. But the focus on the Sony was just a hint better. So with the original G7X, which is the one that I have, that was my main qualm with it, was just the autofocus. And I really just started noticing it in the last year and a half. So I thought maybe it's just because it's an older camera. Whenever I would go from, showcasing, the scenery or an item and then go back to me, I would always have to tap to focus, because it would just take way too long. And sometimes it would be focusing on the background, and it was just always kind of shifting focus. And I thought that it was because my camera was a little bit older, so obviously technology would have improved over the last 5 years. But having tried the G7X Mark III, which is their latest phone, G7X series at least, in the store, and I was doing the same thing. So I was, taking the sample video, I was showing off the cameras, and then I would flip to me. I would have to tap to focus on my face, which it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's always a little bit annoying, especially because I don't look at myself
when I am filming. I try not to, at least. I always try to look at the camera, so I'm not looking like off at the LCD. I will occasionally, just because I want to make sure I'm in frame and that I'm in focus, but most of the time I'm looking into the camera lens. So when I'm talking, it's like we're making eye contact. It's not like I'm like looking over here at an LCD monitor as I'm talking to you guys. I don't always check, and a lot of times I'm out of focus, and that's one thing that I've noticed after using the Sony for the last like almost a week, is that it just has a little bit of a stronger autofocus in that regard. That is why I did pick up the Sony. Now, I've had a couple of people suggest to go with the Alpha series over like the point and shoot, but the reason I wanted the point and shoot, in particular this one, is because it's really video focused, and that's the only reason I use a point and shoot, really. If I want to take photos, I usually have my phone with me. So the Alpha series, although I do like it, and I have used the Alpha series in the past, I haven't used one since I got the G7X. I actually brought the A6000 with me on my trip to Japan and Shanghai, and then I got the G7X, and then I didn't use it ever again. I do like the Alpha series. I think Sony makes really great A6000 series cameras, but it's just a little bit bulkier. It does have interchangeable lenses, so if that's something that you are into, then definitely consider it, because they do make great cameras. I did go back to the Sony ZV-1 in the black version. I'm actually, because I have both of them still. I haven't returned the white one yet, so I will actually do a review on both of these before I send the camera back, because there is actually a physical difference between the two. I've only noticed really the one physical difference, but yeah, there's a slight difference between the two, so you'll have to catch my review in order to figure out what that is. The boxes are identical. The only differentiating factor is like on the side, it says whether it's white or it's black, and that's it. Other than that, it's a completely identical box. It's -1 degree right now, and we're only in the garage, but I wanted to show you guys what I was talking about with the phone case earlier. So this is the 12 Pro Max with obviously there's just a clear case, so it's magnetizes, but just not very strongly, so it comes off fairly easy, which is obviously not what you want. So kind of slides down, if you can see that. Car lighting is just the most unflattering, isn't it? But when you take the case off and it's just the phone, as long as you find the ideal spot, it actually attaches pretty strongly. The ideal spot is pretty much right where the Apple logo would be, so kind of the center of the phone. And yeah, you can just do it any which way you want, and it works great. Anyway, that is why I ordered, just this morning actually, I ordered the Apple silicone case in kumquat, and hopefully it gets delivered this week. I'm excited about it. Okay, I also want to show you guys how I vlog in the car. So I use this little tripod, suction tripod, that I bought from Amazon probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I just double checked, and the seller doesn't even sell these anymore. It was much longer, but these, it's almost like a gorilla tripod. These actually kind of come apart, and I remember taking off, I think, at least 2 or 3 of these balls to make it a bit shorter. So step 1 is to attach your camera. I'm just using the G7X for demonstration purposes here. So step 1 is attach camera. Step 2 is that I suction cup this to the side, and then I just lift up the screen so that I can see myself. So that is what it looks like, and it actually has a pretty strong hold. The only time I have issues with it is sometimes in the summer, because, I don't know, maybe the heat just kind of loosens the grip a little bit, but that is how it looks. So yeah, I usually do it this way so that I can see, obviously, myself, to make sure I'm just in frame, and it's just really easy. I keep it like this for the entire car ride, so if I need to like turn it on quickly, I just press the on button, well, this is a G7X, so I would press it on the back. It's actually a lot easier with the ZV-1 because all of the functions that I would use are right on the top. So it's kind of like just churning the dial on a radio. So on button, record, and then away you go. But that is my car vlogging setup. And yeah, works pretty well for me. Okay, it is advent calendar time. Okay, day 8. December, when it's okay to eat dessert first. I actually often eat dessert first. I remember one of the last restaurants that we went to was probably last December. Oh my God, almost a year ago. And it was this Argentinian restaurant. I think I must have showed it during Vlogmas, but I had flan for dessert first, and then I had my entree. It was great, and I have no regrets about eating dessert first. That is it for today's Vlogmas video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope you're having a wonderful week so far, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.